Hi everybody, and welcome to another edition of Turnpike Music Garage, where we get under the hood of everything live music, including repairing of instruments. If you remember in our last episode, we had this bass guitar that was pretty much damaged, and we were going to resurrect it. And we did our evaluation, and now we're going to start doing the work. The first thing I'm going to want to do is get the strings off. So we're going to do that right now, and I like to use my side cut pliers for that. You loosen the strings up top here, get the tension off. I mean, the side cut pliers just makes it easy. We just get down here when it's loose, we clip the strings, and they're done. And then they'll come off the tuners up top very easily. Get rid of these, throw these away, and then we'll take the ends or the stubs of the strings out through the back of the guitar. In this particular guitar, there's a lot of different ways that bridges hold onto strings. This particular guitar takes them out through the back, which actually is a perfect opportunity now for us to get to the next phase, which is repairing the electronics. So I'm just going to set this down here. And if you recall, we found that there was a fair amount of twisting done to the jack, but really only one wire that had been compromised. So what am I doing here? Okay. So if you take a look at this, you see there's some slack here for the jack wire. You can see that this is the wire that came loose. This actually happens to be the ground wire for the active pickup battery. There's a battery in this box right here. And in order for the pickups to work, you have to activate the battery, and the way the guitar makers activate the battery is by adding an extra contact on the jack, and that makes ground. So once the ground circuit is made, then the battery is activated and the pickups work. So if you notice, the spinning of the wire has caused some of these wires to come loose. So what we're going to do, this is a handy little tool right here. It's a pair of extra hands, and we're going to just hold this jack in place. Using a soldering iron, we're going to remove this and clean this all up. So guitar solder is pretty easy to work with. It melts pretty quickly. You got to give it a second for the solder to heat up, and once it does, it will come loose pretty readily. Those are my favorite parts of doing this kind of work. There we go. So the jack is clean. So now I'm going to take this wire and make sure I've got a good clean contact for the leads, a good clean contact for the ground which came loose, and a good clean contact for the battery which was broken. But you see now there's no end on that, so we're going to add some end to it. And what you have to do with these wires when you work with them, it's something called tinning. And what you want to do is let me just sit down here if you don't mind. You want to get a little bit of solder on the end of these so that you know you get a good contact. And so what you do with that is you get your solder on the point. It will melt on the point of the soldering iron. You'll see it melt into the wire. Now you know you've got a good solder contact on the wire. We're going to do that for that one. We're going to do that for the actual pickup wire. This one's already got it, but I'm just going to double check it and make doubly sure it's good. And do it for the ground connection too. So now we've got a good solder contact on the wire side, and now we're going to clean up the solder contact on the jack side. These little jack hands, or extra hands, are really a nice thing to have. They make working on small parts like this really easy. So we're going to just clear that out a little bit. There we go. It's getting ready to come off now. All right. So we're kind of where we want to be with this jack. Cleaned up, the contact's cleaned up. This one's going to cooperate now, thankfully. Here we go. All right. Now on the jack, you notice 3 contacts. All right. One is ground for the guitar pickup circuit. One is the ground contact for the battery circuit. And one is the live contact for the pickup. And the way you tell is this. This contact right here is the ground. That's attached to the barrel of the guitar. Okay? This taller one is the contact for the sound for the guitar. And if you see, there's a seam in the jack right there. You follow that seam around and notice that it comes out to that contact right there. The remaining contact is the ground for the battery. That's the second highest one, and that one is in the middle wafer there, and that contact is out there. And that's how you know what you're going to connect it to. So we're going to reattach our contacts. We'll do the ground one first, that's in the middle. And we're going to aim this way because we want this contact for the sound from the guitar, for the guitar pickups. So just heat that up. Send that ground wire through there. Let it cool, and it's connected. Now the contact wire, we're going to go where we found the contact clip right there. We're going to set this one right there. Heat it up, hold it in place. Let it dry, let it cool rather. And there you go. Now notice how I'm putting the wires around the outside of the jack. The inside is where the barrel is going to go from your connecting cord. And you don't want these wires touching that. So when you're soldering these things up, you want to make sure you're not in the way or interfering with the movement of the jack cord. And this is our ground wire for the battery. And we're done with that. Let that cool. And there we've saved that jack. Now fortunately, for this particular person, they also provided us with the jack plate. They didn't lose it. So we're going to reattach the jack plate to the jack. There's a locking washer that goes on first. The actual jack plate goes above that. And we have the nut that goes on the jack, and we're done with this. And that will do it for this episode of Turnpike Music Garage. In the next episode, we're going to attach this jack plate back to the body by repairing the damaged wood, and we're going to clean off all of this tape residue from him trying to mount the jack using duct tape. So stick around for the next episode. Thanks.